them once again here. And I'm just trying to come on here. I just want to say, just overall, it seems like most connections, I guess this is somewhat of a disclaimer. Most connections, whether it be internet or whether it's cell phone service, to me just seems to be the ultimate trash right now. Slow internet, buffering internet, it just doesn't matter. So, this is kind of a, Saturday morning hauls that I do. But I kind of wanted to talk just a little bit about what I think is going on, what I think, because I've referred to this as a bit of a gumbo. Um, the gumbo, I did say not melting pot. It's a bit of a gumbo. And I've said, as I was coming out of the last stream, which I'm going to get rid of that one, is that I think that the youth is the base. The youth was the base for last the last triggering, the major social unrest that we had, and that was the Floyd situation. And I do think we could have another Floyd moment, but I want to say that I think that those that are the social engineers, these politicians, the boulets, whatever you want to refer to them as, they need the youth to they need the youth. Okay, the youth is kind of like the root. So without, a little bit of, without stirring up the tension in the youth, you're not going to have as strong of the responses and the impact, the influences will not be as significant. Okay. Because when I talk about a gumbo or social unrest, what's in the pot, I'm thinking about, we've got wars internationally going on, the Rafah situation. We've got the youth that have protested that. Okay, we're heading into the summer. We've got this selection season going on. We've got the TRUMP element in this. We've also got, there's some elements in here that I think we've got these, quote, migrants, aka illegals, running around here. So you got some polar opposites going on in this gumbo right now. And that's why I think it's the perfect ingredients for something to kick off this summer. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the TRUMP sentencing is scheduled for what, 7/11, 7, even back to Little Joe. I'm going back to say, hey, that's a little hip hop, reminder in there. So what I'm saying is, you've got all these little elements to keep this thing, to make this thing simmer. And I think all it's gonna take is either a verdict, or it's gonna take something they're gonna do something that's gonna kick things off. And whether you're going to be on the defense, the offense, if people are still out here carrying the red and blue, it's not going to be like, it is not going to be people running around with red. Somebody made this reference. It's not going to be like the red coats versus the blue coats. No, it's not. They've said it's not going to be the red t-shirts versus the blue t-shirts. And I agree. No, you're not going to know if something kicks off. If there's some form of a conflict that kicks off on the ground in the States, you're not going to know where the person stands. Now, if you're running around with blue hair and pink and purple hair, now that's another, that's kind of a giveaway. Okay? If you're running around like that, or if you're running around, there's certain ways that people identify themselves, but you're not going to know. You're not going to know. But I tell you one thing, it's definitely, it's definitely, there's the right ingredients. You've got enough protests going on. You've got enough protest from the conflict, from the Middle East conflict. You've got enough of that to, well, let's just say you've got enough international conflict that you're going to polarize everyone. So you're polarizing everybody in that regard. And then you've got people in the country that don't share values with people that are here in the country. So all it's going to take is just it's just going to take the right thing. And I do believe this verdict, depending on how it goes, this TRUMP verdict on the 7/11, I think that could be the tipping point. Okay. It's just because you got enough issues. It takes, what is it that, I don't know, what is the quote that Obama said? If you dump enough crap, basically, I'm paraphrasing, you do the homework, you do the math, you do the fact checking here. What did he say? If you dump enough crap into the public forum, or into the public forum system, then you basically you can set it off. And I think that's exactly what's going on right now. A lot of things are going to be set off by all of these little entities. Whether it's the illegals versus the Americans, whether it's the red shirts versus the blue shirts, whether it's the pro-Israel versus the other side, you've got enough. You've got enough to set things off already. And I do think that and some people I'm kind of leaning towards it, maybe TRUMP will not go to jail. But at the same time, they have tried everything. They have made him, he's the all occasion, enemy in politics. And then you can't even, the people that say, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump. Oh, I'm going to vote for Trump. I mean, are you seriously? And then I'd be, oh, well, because he got convicted, that makes me want to vote for him even more. I mean, seriously, do you believe everything that comes out of people's mouths, or the people's mouths that are in the streets? So I'm saying all that to say is that one way or another, I think there is going to be some type of this, it's from a biblical perspective, what this Pontius Pilate kind of moment that to me, there's always been this element of, he's persecuted, he's crucified over here, but then on this day, he's going to rise up. They keep doing these things. It just keeps seasoning and cycling. Is the moment he stepped back in, it just instantly, everything just comes back. It's like it's like he never lost the presidency, really. For those anti people, it's like he never lost it. But like I said, I think that this is, I think, a lot where the deceit comes in. There's always, they're persecuting him. But I think they're going to try something even more extreme to try to mock the whole, the resurrection. I think they are. I think they're going to try to get him off the scene, or to me, it's almost, you could have another like Epstein situation where, okay, yeah, he goes to jail. Oh, he's going to jail. And to me, this is really bad writing. This script is so bad. Okay, so say for instance, let's just speak in hypothetical. So say if he goes to jail and he still ends up disappearing from the bad, and he's not going to be present for this election. I just think there's going to be something that they're going to do, because there is, whether you want to base it on polls or social media, there does seem to be, he's in a better position than Biden. Okay. But I do think that they're going to keep this whole narrative. It's like the media is going to play the red side with this whole persecution, Pontius Pilate kind of moment. And And then on the other side, it's going to be an Epstein kind of a moment where he's actually going to either do time, he's actually going to allegedly go to jail, and then there's something going to happen with him and he's going to disappear. Just like Epstein or Epstein, whatever your flavor is. But I'm just saying there's going to be something, because they've tried everything, right? They've tried everything, and historically, yeah, it looks really bad. It looks really bad, in which political opponents try to annihilate, but that's all they ever do. Clinton did the same thing with the dossier, and but I think that this could be even more extreme. I do think that this is the new, I say this all the time, like, we're not going back to the way things were pre-CV19. We're not going back to that way. So to me, this is just kind of like, you're kind of being baptized. You're kind of being warmed up for the new order. This is the way things are going to be. Especially when I don't want to talk about elections, because, oh, well, she's out here saying that there's no, and then Biden also, I saw him make a comment in one of his pathetic speeches about, oh, well, they made a decision, and the courts made a decision, and anybody that says that this was rigged or da-da-da-da-da is dangerous. The rhetoric, that he uses is just as bad as it was before. They never stop. So I'm just saying, this is, to me, all of this. Some people say TRUMP is in on it, and maybe he is. I wouldn't be. Nothing surprises me. Okay, nothing surprises me. But I do think that they are going to kick off some unrest this summer, whether it be him actually dealing in a cell, or whether he ends up disappearing altogether and no one knows. Because it's ripe. It's done. So a lot of people say, okay, July 4th, 1776, May 30th, 2024, that's the end of, that was, America was done, officially done on that particular day. But we'll see. I'd love to know what you guys think about it in the comments. But they know there's not going to be, no one's going to really do anything about it. Nobody's really done anything. And honestly, so we'll see what happens. But to me, none of it you really can't trust any of it. You just have to kind of see. What I'm doing here is just you just look at the patterns. Look at the patterns of, to me, pre-2020, okay, before CV19, the amount of rhetoric and the amount of, vitriol and the amount of things that were out there. And then in the George Floyd situation, I do think that this could spur another George Floyd situation here in the States. Would be all they need, because they were able to basically extract the world's outrage with that situation, with the visuals and all of that. They were able to do that. And they're going to be able to do that this time, because there's so many polarizing issues. And yeah, I mean, who knows what can happen? Let's see. I'm not sure. I've got some people in here I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure who. Nubs Revenge. He says, red or blue, they will come for you. Politics are no good. He also says, all of this is just a dog and pony show. Well, they've got to have that. You got to have certain elements. You got to have the suspense. And that's what I'm saying. It's too early for them. Right now, the tension is building, but they're not going to let it pop off yet. They're going to delay. Okay? They're going to delay. Okay, so he says the word government comes from Latin and literally means governing one's mind or mind control. Well, yeah. And that's what the job of these celebrities and these talk shows like The Views and all of them. I mean, these people have a very specific job. Very specific job. He says, I'm from that neighborhood in the St. He's just the St. Paul Police Department started that riot. Well, like I said, all they need is, you get the optics, you put it on, you show the world, which the world is already opining on this situation from, 2 days ago anyway. Yeah, pretty much, the most of Europe seems to be pretty liberal. They seem to be pretty liberal. And most of their opinions of TRUMP are pretty much the same as they were 4 years ago, okay? Yeah, I mean, I remember just I could even tell, like, 4 years ago, that just even some of the conversations that I had with people from in Europe, that they were pretty much, Trump, bad man, Trump, orange man, whatever the code was, or whatever the signal words were, the what do they call them? I don't want to say the dog. I don't want to use the word dog whistle, because I just don't like that. I just don't care for that term. But whatever it signals, they know how to send the signal to people, and that's the mind. And I think the media has played a great role in that. They've played a great role in triggering people. There's certain words that just trigger that demographic and trigger the rage. And it's back again. It's back again. But then there's a lot, but it's just really bizarre. It's just the people are really bizarre, because it seems like they're very fickle. People are very fickle when it comes to, they forget a lot of things. But when we're constantly inundated with one event after another, that's very easy. That's very easy to do. And some people refer to that, it was a psychological warfare, smoke and mirrors. I don't know, whatever your flavor is. But yeah, I just think that summer is going to be, because I called it summer of dissent back in 19, I believe. And this summer is going to be, even more wild. It's going to be even more wild. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see. I'm not sure. This is Point Fire. It's a uniparty grifting to the guy. So yes, I mean, the word, I don't even like the word democracy. It's completely disingenuous. Because it depends. It's in the eye of the beholder. It depends on who's using it. It doesn't. If you ask, and you want to know why it is, because if you ask the person, what is it? What exactly is it? And they can't give you. It's so subjective that they can't tell you what it is. It's whatever their concept, whatever their idea that it is. Okay? That's what it is. I mean, whose democracy? Whose idea? Whose concept of democracy? It's not a law. It's not written down anywhere. They throw it around for other nations. Oh, they're fighting for their democracy. Well, what is that? What exactly is that? How do you know what that means to them there? So it's relative to me, to where you are. So it's a disingenuous concept, idea. And they're going to keep spending. The more they use it, the more disingenuous it is. The more it is. Point Fire says both sides waving their little flags as both follow UN. Yeah, well, there's all kinds of things that are being done behind the scenes that the people aren't paying attention to, because you go from P. Diddy to TD Jakes, P. Diddy, now the TRUMP. It's just, yeah. I mean, I don't really. A lot of it has been just distractions, but in the meantime, a lot of things are going on that they're trying to push through. So who knows? Point Fire says they are offended by everything except, yeah, exactly, precisely. And then you've got, I don't think that, for what I will say, I definitely don't think that confrontation is confrontation is, it seems to be viewed as a sinful or something taboo, but there's no real, I mean, the concept of it, the lines of it, the rules of engagement on it is what's so bizarre. It's so twisted. And to me, everything is really twisted and tainted. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna, for those of you that are here, that get to see this in replay, just let me know what you think in the comment section. I mean, initially I'm thinking, okay, this situation is another nothing burger. It's a way to get people's emotionally involved, is which they tend to do. The media has a way of keeping people emotionally involved, which only you can control that. Only you can control, your emotions, your where are the facts, to me, the history, the patterns here, to me, that's clear. And he says, love and respect from Toronto, listening to Critical Thought is served for. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming in, Point Fire. I mean, all of this stuff is just kind of, honestly, I didn't really want to get into it until some of the smoke on it, just some of the dust kind of settled on it, because, he's going to be in the news until July 11th, 7/11. 7/11. So you really have to, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be certain things I'm gonna pay attention to, and I'll bring those things out on this particular channel. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do in this case. Now, I think there was supposed to be a debate. If I'm not mistaken, was there supposed to be a debate between TRUMP and BYDN? Not BY. I'm just being silly. And Biden. I think there's supposed to be a televised debate or whatever. So I don't know what. I have no idea. This is all. It's somewhat entertaining, but then it's so bad. It's entertaining in a bad way. But they're toying with people's lives. That's the not so funny part about all of this, is that you dump all these elements into this gumbo, and then you end up with, it's just gonna pop, the bubble's gonna burst, and I feel like we'll end up with unrest and chaos in the streets again. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I apologize for any for the confusion from the last stream, because I've said this before. It's like all of our systems, the internet's slow, it's sluggish, the cell phone service is trash, just all over the place. I think that the air is really, like, some people are chronically suffering from some type of sinus or allergy problems. It's like, to me, it's ramped up times. It's unlike any season right now. It's just all over the place. Boy Fire says, please read the UN Compact. Oh my gosh. It's so interesting you bring it up. See, here, let's talk about that for a second. I've talked about this. I've covered the Migration Compact. Because back in 2018, that particular compact was due to be signed, and several nations had signed on, but allegedly TRUMP did not sign that compact for free and regular migration, is what they said, for free and regular migration. He did not sign that, allegedly. But they were, but at the same time, there was still, Mexico has made a deal to retain them over there. And you guys remember San Diego, I talked about how the surge on the border and how they shut down things. And then, of course, the Time magazine and all of these media people were out here saying that the Border Patrol was firing on women and children. Well, who's at the border right now? Who's at the border right now? Where are all these women and children? Oh, they're being ripped from their parents' arms. There are healthy men down at that border, majority. And they were there back then. I'm convinced that they were there back then. I mean, and I don't do a whole lot of quoting, but I do remember There's one point that I did remember. I remember Ted Cruz saying back then that he went down there to the border, and of course, quote, the AOCs went down the border. She's down there crying, doing photo ops. He comes back and says, "Oh, there's men down there representing over 50 something nations." I believe that. And it's more than that down there now. It's absolutely more than that right now. So I definitely think we're being set up for something. And to me, the tension is just going to continue to build. I think it's going to go all the way until, quote, what is it, November 5th this year for the election day? I don't know if it's going to last that long. I don't know if it's going to last that long. But that's what's happening right now. America, the Congress, your Congress people aren't going to tell you, but they are. That's what this is, coming through that border being like it is, and then pretending like they're doing solutions, or they want to make it make it safer and this. No, it's free, and it's free and regular migration. That was a part of the migration compact. That was a part of that. So, and like I said, of course, there were several nations that signed it, but allegedly TRUMP did not sign it. Yet, it was almost like we had our own compact with Mexico in keeping them there, while people were allegedly still trying to get in. So the simmering pot in that regard is not new at all. It's been that way the whole time. It's been that way the whole time. So that's not going to go away. It's not. In fact, and then of course in California, Newsom said that he didn't want to have a house. He didn't want to have a house for this, for the poor and this. And he said it was going to be one house. So, and that's when he was promoting health care for the people that had come over the border around that particular time. So I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, but we'll keep an eye on this situation. But I really think that they're starting to wear people down. Like they're going to wear people down, or they're going to bring people to a breaking point. And I think, it's going to happen. Also, the DNC, mind you, the DNC is actually going to be, that's in Chicago this year. Now, there's lots of there's lots of talk about, the people of Chicago. I've seen them say they have told the mayor that it's not going to be no matter what he does, they're not going to just have, some Democratic National Convention there and have a peaceful one. They are saying that's not going to happen, the people there. So it's just a simmering situation, but it could backfire. To me, there is an opportunity for people to unite here, but like I said, what I do know is that people are going to be running around with red and blue shirts and, oh, I'm a libertarian, oh, I'm a this, oh, I'm a that. No, that is not what you're about. That's not what you're going to get. You're not going to know. I would think it might be more important that you figure out whether you're going to be on the offense or the defense. Like you might need to figure out how you could, what's your survival rate? What's the highest survival rate in the position that you're in, that you take? Because it will be chaotic. It will be. Of course, we still see the smash and grab never stopped in California. I remember that. And it's still going on. So yeah, we'll see. I appreciate you guys once again. So it's me, Nubs Revenge. You have a lot of questions. You may want to take, a look at, some of the, this channel has been around for a little bit. I'm not saying it's healthily been, it hasn't been healthy. It's not, booming, or it didn't take off, or, it didn't germinate. Let me speak in those terms. It didn't germinate, and not because it didn't have the right elements. It's because of my perspective, and yeah, a little bit of cynicism, just naturally. Point of Fire says The Economist cover. Wait, okay, so The Economist cover. This is very interesting that you say that. Point Fire, The Economist cover 2012. Yes, I have seen that one. Where is it that like there's the blood, the river is like red, and you've got Obama floating through this canal or whatnot, and then you've got these international conflicts in the air. But I tell you what, to that end, I also, the Economist cover of 2024 is another one that I want to get into, because they kind of made a prediction that Americans, the way that the election is going to go is not going to be, you're going to need to make some more preparations. You need to be prepared in another way. And I'll go over that. I want to do that stream. I was supposed to do it the other day, but I kind of want to go over it, in which it looks like the elements from that particular stream, from that particular infographic, because I see that as an infographic in which they have the red and the blue. And I've said this before, red and blue make purple. That's a very primary lesson in grade school. Red and blue make purple, and that's the way I see these political whatevers. You see purple everywhere. If you look at your pharmaceutical commercials, you see your media people wearing purple. You might even see your employer. I mean, hey, I once had in corporate America somebody say, "Oh, we look more international." And I knew right then. I was like, listen, this is emerging here. This is a, and to me it signaled NWO. However you want to call it, but merging those two colors together is what you got. And then of course, like I said, when I do this graphic, when I show you the graphic of the cover of The Economist, you'll see, because it shows, you've got all kinds of icons of energy sources. You've got icons that represent currency. You've got icons that represent AI in that particular graphic. There's a lot going on there. For those of you decoders out there, there's not a lot of numbers. There's not a lot of numbers on there, but there's a lot of symbols on it. There's black and white. Excuse me. It even seems like there's an eclipse reference there, because there's a black and white, and then the black and white sometimes eclipses the white, and sometimes the white circle eclipses the black. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot. I don't want to say it's predictive programming. Well, maybe it is, but I do think that they tell us a lot before it comes out, before it comes to pass. So The Economist cover 2012, enlarged illustration, aka a rough guide. Yes, that's the one. I've seen it, but I didn't do an analysis of it myself. I was watching somebody else's analysis of it, and it was pretty predictive, because the 2012 and it's 2024, that's a 12-year kind of predictive. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. And then also there's another story about this. There's an Illinois farm. Was it a chicken facility that caught ablaze? That's another thing that's gone on. And I think it's one of the largest cage-free, I guess it was a cage-free egg facilities in the country. Maybe it is, or maybe it was. So we'll see. He says we had bank accounts frozen for the crime of donating to Democratic causes. Still, most Canadians sleep. Yeah, well, yeah. I remember that as well. So yeah, it's a dangerous time. I don't want to use the reference 1984 too much. Because to me, that was just like that was like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, those references. But it just seems like, even on social media, if they don't like something that you're saying, they'll come right. I even had something to enter my stream about 2 weekends ago. Like, it's almost like somebody was speaking over like a loudspeaker, or like, like like a prison movie or something. It says, so and so, prisoner 18, you got a visitor. It almost sounded like that. It had that kind of effect, like loudspeaker effect coming over my live stream. So I think things are getting a little buggy out here. But yeah, and I remember that situation that happened with Canada and the prime minister. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So I may bring you that actual infographic with the 2024 politics 2024, and it actually shows there's like profiles of a TRUMP, and then there's like a female. I'd have to show it to you, because if you go clockwise, you see this, and you see the on the left side you have a left side of the infographic, and you have a right side of the infographic. So we'll see. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. And if you want to send any kind of a message, or I don't know if we're going to do meet me at the debate just for that. I don't know if we're going to do, but you can just go to blackspringwithautumn@gmail.com. You just go there, and you'll see, you can send me an email there. But we'll keep an eye on these things. Point Fire says, our Minister of Mental Health claimed that honk honk was an acronym for, oh wow, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, what was it? Kind of like the OK symbol? Was that this? Yeah, it seems like they were doing something similar. It's like they're running the same type of rhetoric, same type of propaganda. And yeah, I think these liberal institutions are plants. They were made for this moment. They were made to meet this moment. So once again, I'll get back with you guys later. We'll see what happens today. Yeah, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Point Fire says, it referenced Clown World. Right. All right, guys. Well, I will see you later. Like I said, if you have anything you want to share, or yeah, if I end up doing the meet me at the debate, I don't know if that's what's going to happen with that. We'll just have to watch, see what's going on. We'll have to keep watching you just have to keep your popcorn and your whatever out that you like, your 100-calorie packs out for what happens next. All right. Thank you so much, Point Fire. Thank you so much for coming in. And Noob's Revenge, you look around, see what you need to see. Banter Bus. I'm not sure if you're new to the new around here. I appreciate you for coming around. All right, guys, I will get back with you later. Take care.